you tolerate is what you teach people how to treat you, how to speak to you, and how to handle you. And some of you aren't being disrespected because people don't know better. You're being disrespected because you never required better. Freeze, pause that scroll, because what you've been calling being nice might actually be self-neglect. Welcome to Vonda's Vibe Room. Real talk, real faith, real vibes, period. Welcome back, beautiful souls. God has ordered your steps here, and I believe that there is a message for us today. What has your silence been teaching people? Every time you don't correct it, you confirm it. You let it slide, you approve it. You say it's okay when it's not okay. You're teaching people, this is how you deal with me. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 25 says, the fear of man brings a trap. That means when you fear people, you get trapped in what you tolerate. And that trap looks like smiling while being disrespected. Let me be real with you. There was a time in my life, guys, where I put up with a whole lot of disrespect, being used, taken advantage of. And the truth is, y'all, I knew it. I knew they were using me. I knew they were crossing lines. I knew they benefited from my silence, and I still allowed it. Why? Because I thought being kind meant being quiet. And I thought if I spoke up, I'd be seen as too much, rude, or not Christ-like. So I stayed silent, and they kept taking, I kept giving, they kept expecting, and what hurt the most is they saw my kindness as a weakness. But hear me, it was never weakness. I just didn't know how to stand up for me. And it hit me, y'all. Something as simple as my name. People many times would say my name wrong. My name is Vonda. It became LaWanda, Yolanda, Yavonda, LaBonda. So I still started telling people, just call me Vonda, because I thought it was just simple. But for weeks, I went with the flow, and I let coworkers say my name wrong. I didn't correct them. I didn't speak up. I would just smile and answer to a name that wasn't even mine. And then one day, a coworker asked me, why do you let them say your name wrong? Why don't you correct them, Vonda? And I stood there, y'all, with no answer. But in that moment, something clicked. And I realized that if I don't speak up for me, no one else would. If I keep allowing it, why would it ever change? So I made a decision that I will not allow disrespect. I will not stay silent. I will not abandon myself just to keep others comfortable. God didn't give me a voice to bury it. He gave me a voice to use it. And I thank God for Jesus, because he gave me the boldness, y'all, to say, this is who I am, and this is how you will treat me, and this is what you will call me. 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7 boldly says, for God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. If fear is leading you, then you become afraid to speak. You will then be afraid to correct, afraid to set boundaries. And that fear, it didn't come from God. God said, I gave you power, power to speak, power to say no, power to stand without apologizing. And not just power, but love. Real love includes you. And you can love people and still have boundaries. You can be kind and still be clear. You can have grace and still say, you will not treat me that way. And then a sound mind. No second guessing, no replaying, no shrinking. A sound mind says, I meant what I said, and I said what I meant. So why are you letting fear make your decisions and control how people treat you when God already gave you everything you need? Boundaries are not attitude, they are clarity. Matthew chapter 5 verse 37 says, let your yes be a yes and your no be no. No confusion, no overthinking, no guilt. Because if you don't define it, people will design it, and they will design it in their favor. People don't just cross lines, they cross lines with no consequences. You stay quiet, you stay available, you stay accommodating, you are not just mistreated, you are misrepresented, because your actions are saying, I'm okay with this. And God is saying, no, you're not. Galatians chapter 6 verse 7 says, what a man sows, that shall he reap. That goes both ways, y'all. There comes a moment where you stop saying, I don't want to offend them. And you start saying, I will not abandon me. Your voice gets louder than your fear and everything changes. You don't just love people, you respect yourself. And when you respect you, people learn they have to respect you too. What you tolerate is what you teach people. You tired of being used, disrespected, overlooked? Change the lesson. And when you shift, everything around you has to shift. You don't need to be louder. You just need to be clearer. You don't need to fight. You need to define. And the moment you decide, I will not tolerate what dishonors me, is the moment people learn they can't either. If this spoke to you, type, I will not abandon myself. And if you've been silent, this is your sign to find your voice again. Because God didn't just save you, He gave you power. Yes. This is Vonda's Vibe Room, where we keep it real, where we heal for real, and where we grow for real. Guess what, family? I'll see you